What's going on, guys? I'm Jay the Black. Salute to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about actor, comedian Mike Epps. His ex-wife is still not over the fact that he divorced her and married another woman. That's usually how it goes, right? Because in a lot of these celebrity divorces, you have guys that may not get married again, or they may just date again, or their personal life is sort of in private, like you don't know who they're with. But ever since Mike Epps filed for divorce from his ex-wife Mechelle, she still has not gotten over it, and you can tell that she hasn't, because years later, while promoting her new show, she's talking about how he cheated on her with his wife that he's been with for a while now. His new wife, while they, that she felt like her and Mike was still together. Now, they divorced in 2017, and she got a very nice, sizable divorce settlement. But we're going to get into what's going on now and why this woman is still bitter about how things ended, because Mike Epps divorced her. Mechelle claims in a new interview that the Next Friday star was spotted with his before he filed for divorce from her, and that he still slept with her after that. Well, does that make him look bad, or does that make you look bad? You were sleeping with this guy. The guy wasn't really with anybody. Yeah, he was dating this other woman. He probably did cheat. Who knows? But he married her. It's clear that he was intending on being with her long term. So the situation of they probably weren't even with each other. They were probably separated but still screwing. You have married couples, right? They will still have relations with each other while they're getting a divorce, because they've already been screwing each other for years. So that doesn't change. These guys screw their baby mamas, ex-wives all the time. But what she was surprised at is how he moved on so fast. Well, we don't know how long y'all were separated. Y'all may have been separated but still screwing. That's what goes on in a lot of these situations. Mike Epps' ex clearly still holds some grudges about how he allegedly treated her during their marriage. Appearing on Girlfriends and Champagne, Mechelle accused the comedian of cheating on her with his now new wife when they were still together. Sitting down for a new episode of the talk show, Mechelle said that she initially caught Mike flirting with some women on Twitter. You're trolling with women on Twitter and all that. And I made a comment on that, she spoke on the show. Mechelle claimed that Mike later filed for divorce from her after he was spotted with his now wife, Kyra. So now you're on a blog with your new wife. Y'all walking in New York, she continued sharing. Even after filing for divorce, Mechelle said Mike had relations with her. As she recounted, you're still married to me and we're still having relations with me. Then all of a sudden now you're filing for divorce. You were still having relations with me after that. Okay. So you were still screwing this guy even though he was trying to leave you. Once again, who does that make look bad? Now she's going to say that, they were together. Listen, nobody files for divorce if you're happily married. Obviously, there must have been some separation, because in Mike Epps' mind, he doesn't think he was cheating, because to him, he may have broken it off with you, but you didn't see it that way. Because a lot of times you have dudes that will end relationships, or they will separate from their significant other, and that woman still think they're together when he's already long gone and he doesn't come back. But in her mind, she thinks that he's going to come back. You see, Mike Epps could leave his wife today and he can go back to Mechelle because she's holding a spot for him. Now, I'm not 100% sure if she's moved on or she's met somebody else or with somebody. I don't know that. Maybe y'all will be able to tell me that. But I guarantee you, if Mike was to leave his wife today, she would welcome Mike back with open arms. This is why after they've been separated for 5 years, and she is still talking about how that situation ended, because she's hurt because Mike left. Mike left for a reason. Mike got with a new woman for a reason. Because he didn't want to be with you anymore. He did not see those wife qualities in you anymore. And you know that too. But in your mind, you can't understand why. Because you felt like, because you were with Mike for so long, that you're the only woman that he'd want to marry, and that's just not true. I think Mechelle is not as special as she thought she was. This is why after 5 years, she's still talking about Mike Epps. Kind of like with Kevin Hart's ex, you know, would still speak about him here and there, you know. It wasn't long, however, until Mechelle realized how disrespectful he was towards her. So now I'm thinking at some point it clicked not too long after the filing. I'm like, okay, so this person is in a place they feel like they want to do what they want to do. They filed for divorce, she recalled. Why would I fight for something when you're not being right towards me in your actions? Listen, the signs were there. Mike didn't want to be with you anymore. The signs were there. You either choose to understand and read those signs or you ignore it. A lot of women ignore when their spouse no longer wants to be with them. Mike didn't want to be with you anymore. I'm sure the signs were there. And the thing with Mike probably worked so much, you probably didn't notice it. But Mike was done. And a lot of these married women don't understand when their husbands are done. Or when you got women who are in long-term relationships, don't realize when their spouse is done because they don't want to realize it. They don't want to see the reality. And the reality is he didn't want you anymore. And that bothers her. To this day, it bothers her. She bore his children. She was married to him for a very long time. And in her mind, she should have been the only one. But she wasn't. And he moved on so quickly that it bothers her even to this day. Mike has not responded to his ex-wife's cheating claims. The exes were married in July of 2006 and lived in Beverly Hills, California together until they divorced in September of 2017. He then moved on with OWN Network executive and Iyanla Fix My Life producer, Kyra, whom he married in Newport Beach, California in June of 2019. Now let's go over some of the details of the divorce, according to TMZ. Mike officially a single man, but it's going to cost him. A judge just signed off on his divorce from Mechelle McCain Epps, his wife of 12 years, and the property settlement shows just how rich they are. Mike walks away with 10, count them, 10 properties in Indiana. So the guy's like a mini real estate agent out there, a real estate mogul out there. He keeps the 2016 Mercedes, his 2015 Jeep Cherokee, and his 79 Caddy, and the 2011 Suzuki Chopper. Now the pain. Epps pays Mechelle $25,000 a month in spousal support for a total of 6.5 years. But if she remarries, he stops paying. He also has to pay $15,000 a month in support for their 2 children. He also is footing the bill for their private school. Mike and Mechelle split royalties from his numerous movie and TV roles, including The Hangover, Hancock, and Girls Trip. Mechelle walks away with a small fleet of cars herself, including the 2014 Bentley, the 2013 Mercedes, and the 2015 Toyota Prius, and a 2013 Land Rover. First off, what are you going to do with all these cars? Are you going to give 1 or 2 of them to your children? Why do you need that many cars? But I guess we're talking about people who are in Hollywood. So, you know, they have the money to buy them again. But again, this divorce settlement was in 2017. So people are going to say you're driving 2013. Those cars are probably in very good condition. Probably not driven very often. She's probably done sold them at the time. But this is what she got out of it. So she basically got $25,000 a month for 6.5 years. The 6.5 years is about up. So she has about 1.5 years to go before she's no longer getting that $26,000. And we all know she ain't got remarried yet. At least I don't think she's gotten remarried yet. Maybe y'all can tell me if she has. And he's paying $15,000 a month for his daughters. and she got a bunch of cars, and she's also getting royalties. From his movie projects. The couple sold their home in Encino and split the profits. They agreed to joint legal custody and are still in the process of working out the physical custody arrangement. Listen, man, this woman needs to let go. I don't understand why she is upset that Mike has moved on 5 years later with this other woman. If somebody don't want to be with you, you gotta let it go. I know people are gonna say, well, it's hard for somebody to get over divorcing somebody that they were with for so long. That person, like, she loves Mike, but you also have to understand, as human beings, we have to make choices. And Mike felt like he was going to be happy with this woman. Now, I will say this about this woman that Mike chose to be with. She's a Hollywood producer. They probably met through mutual friends, or maybe she was a fan of Mike. And she clearly didn't care that he was in the middle of being married and not married with her. Like a lot of women will be very sneaky, and they will be seeing these guys, these married men, behind their wives' backs. Now, she could have been a side chick. I have no doubt Mike has been had talked to that woman prior to him filing for divorce. But the problem is, when did the relationship in the marriage stop? Okay, yeah, they were still having relations, but there had to be some type of separation. Mike just didn't wake up one day and want to get divorced. That relationship had been done for quite some time. I just think that Mike's ex-wife just has never been able to get over it. She's never been able to get over it. The feeling of rejection, the feeling that he chose another woman over her, and she's still upset about it. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, and let me know your thoughts.